Been about 4 months since I covered the start of Season 5 for Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. And, you know, I still keep my eye on it because I invested, what, $90 in this game. Some news coming out. We're going to really deep dive into it. Basically, Bigben, which owns, what, 57% of NACON, and, like, the voting, over the voting, they have, like, 65%. The voting rights, basically missed a 43 million euro payment, and now NACON has halted like their trading, and kind of we're in the middle of, we don't know what's going to happen. We're going to deep dive into it. There's a lot of information here, but are they going to shut down? Are they going to continue? Are they going to go into like a maintenance mode, and then like, are there going to be layoffs? Kind of everything's up in the air right now, but I mean, we kind of saw this coming, right? But they also just did their, what, end of season update. This has been the longest season ever at, what, 5 months. Now, we did cover Test Drive Unlimited Solar Flare, Season 5. If you remember that video, that was kind of crazy. We made the Coming Soon Again diss track. I know I've switched off of racing games, but also it recently just went free on PS Plus, and I believe 2 days in a row, the servers were down for like 4 hours each day. 20,000 reviews now, and it's at 2.15 stars out of 5. It's just, I mean, are we surprised? We all know that the game hasn't been in a good state, okay? But, I mean, it's just, I mean, I got the press releases here. Like I said, we're gonna go over it, all right? We're gonna go over it. So to understand this new situation, we need to talk about how this game is actually being funded. So Solar Crown isn't just one studio making a game. There's a corporate chain behind it. Basically, it's Bigben Interactive, which is the parent company. They own the majority of NACON, the publisher, and the funds publishes Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. Bigben Interactive owns about 57% of NACON and controls over 65% of voting rights. That means NACON and the games it publishes are heavily tied to Bigben's financial health. A few days ago, Bigben failed to repay $43 million in bonds, money owed to investors. They expected banks to refinance that debt. At the last moment, the banks refused. So picture this. Imagine expecting a loan extension to pay off a massive bill and then suddenly being told no. That's exactly what happened here. So there's a few reasons why this is pretty serious, right? Bigben announced it may need court-supervised debt restructuring. Immediately after, NACON released a statement. Where is it? Let me pull that up. Right here. NACON released a statement saying it was assessing the consequences for its own activities and the financing associated with them. This is corporate language for, this could affect how we fund our operations. So then NACON then temporarily halted stock trading. Companies only do this when major financial negotiations are happening behind the scenes. It prevents investor panic while restructuring talks occur. So basically, people can't just offload their shares. So like, oh shit, they're gonna go bankrupt and then sell their shares. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go over a few numbers real quick. NACON reported 167.9 million euros in revenue, but only 1.1 million euros in operating profit. That's an extremely thin margin, meaning even a small financial shock could force difficult decisions. All right. So they're, you know, already, I mean, we think about it here, right? The game was pushed back, what, 2 years? It has its issues. It still has its issues. They did their whole engine overhaul, still have issues. It still doesn't run properly. People with beefy computers still can't get stable frame rates. There's pop-ins. You're driving and everything's popping in front of you. The AI is still a mess. Everything's, that'll come in Season 6. That's going to come in Season 8. We're working on it. We know this will be fixed soon, but they can never do, like, I've never seen a company that can't do hot fixes. That can't be like, all right, here's a problem. We fixed it. Let's implement it. No, but instead they take the game down for 8 to 12 hours and they sit there and it just, I don't know what, it's just, I don't understand, man. I don't get it. All right, so let's talk about what could happen next. These are scenarios. Okay, these aren't, none of this is final. This is just speculation. All right, let's just get that out there. But this is what could happen. So does this mean NACON or Solar Crown could shut down? We got a few outcomes here, okay? Scenario 1, successful restructuring. I would give this, I'd say, probably 60 to 70%, just based on other industry things that have happened in the industry, right? Kind of just ballparking off that. So scenario 1, Bigben secures new financing. Debt repayment timelines are adjusted. Operations continue normally. TDUSC keeps receiving updates, likely at the same pace we've already seen, which we know is not, it's very slow compared to other games, but what are you going to do, right? Scenario 2, restructuring and cost cuts. This has about a 40 to 50% chance of happening, I'd say. So creditors agree to funding, but demand expense reductions, because keep in mind, Bigben wasn't able to pay that $43 million. So they're gonna be like, okay, you're obviously not making enough money. We will fund you, but you got to cut costs because you can't even repay what you're taking. You're not operating at a profit, right? So this often leads to layoffs, smaller dev teams, reduced update scopes, and this is extremely common in the gaming industry, right? I mean, TDUSC is already a small dev team, and I mean, while it's not the smallest dev team I've seen, I honestly don't know what those guys are doing over there most of the time, because like you have way smaller teams of people, like 5 or less, cranking out hot fixes and updates. It's almost like they just don't know what they're doing with the game. I don't know, man. We could go on and on. So here's scenario 3. All right, game will go into maintenance mode. This also has about a 50 to 60% chance of happening. The game continues running, but receives minimal new content. So these year 2, year 3, year 4, up to whatever they want to do is basically going to be scrapped. They'll keep the servers online, but development will slow dramatically. Actually, many live service games quietly transition into this phase. It'll just be sooner rather than later. And honestly, I mean, we've been expecting this for the longest time. I mean, they can't. I mean, now that you can buy diamonds in the shop and basically spend $100 to get millions of credits in the game, which is something they said they would never fucking do. But here we are. And I know a bunch of idiots on the Reddit have bought those packs, but it's like, it's not going to be enough to keep them afloat, right? Most players, we don't want to pay for this shit, right? It's something they said they would never do. And then last scenario number 4 here, worst case, say about a 10 to 15% chance this happens, okay? Their restructuring fails. Court supervised insolvency begins. This does not mean instant shutdown though, but projects could be scaled back or discontinued, right? And if you think, all right, well, we have live service, that costs money to keep it going, the servers, all the costs, paying the devs, future plans, you know, they're adding Pagani soon, and the licensing, they can just cut that and then work on, like, you know, they make all kinds of stuff now, right? They just did what was it, Rensport, which is very laughable. They make like peripherals or whatever you call them, all like wheels and stuff. They could just focus on releasing a game, getting it a cash grab, and then dipping, and not supporting it with a live service, you know? And like I said, these aren't guarantees. They're just realistic outcomes based on similar industry situations that have played out. All right, let's look at the timeline here. I've made this little graph. All right. So the game was delayed for 2 years. The expectations kept rising and rising. All right, we're excited. We're like, all right, this is going to be insane. Like, we can't wait. There's a new test drive coming. And then launch hit, right? They didn't give out review copies, performance issues, server instability. It was missing so much polish. I mean, like, holy shit, the performance issues. I mean, on PlayStation, it was 10 to 15 FPS on races. It was horrible. I remember they said the game would run at 30 FPS at 1440. And then it could barely run 30 FPS at 720. They lied about all the numbers. And then the following months, updates, promise, fixes, new issues appeared, community frustration grew. You know, then we had the recent patch. Bugs are still persistent. They're not fixing. Every time they fix 2 things, they introduce 10 new bugs. And then it's months before we even get a fix. And you know, we're going to go over some of these from the Reddit. Pop-in optimization complaints continue. We just had the PlayStation Plus release. There was, I would assume, a fairly big influx of players The servers shut down, the servers crash. Shocker, right? We know anytime they get an additional 50 players, the servers crash. It's crazy. It's like, it's been, God, this game came out, what, September, or was it October? I think it was September of 2024, right? So we're well over a year and they still can't get their server sorted. So, I mean, let me pull it up here. I mean, let's look at this here. I mean, yeah. It's still horrible rates. There's 98 people in the game right now. It's still only peaking at 200. It's just not going anywhere. Like, the game never gets better. It's never, I mean, 5,000 all-time peak. I know most people are playing on console. I get that. But, like, still, these are horrible numbers, right? Horrible numbers. Horrible. So, you know, PlayStation Plus released, I think that was just 2 or 3 days ago, right? The servers are failing repeatedly again. Reviews are 2.1 stars out of 5 for 20,000 reviews. That's bad. I mean, that just shows you that how bad the game is. And then now we're here in February. Bigben misses the 43 million payment. NACON halts trading. Financial crisis. So when you line these events up, it starts to feel less like isolated problems and more like a project struggling under growing pressure, right? I think they bit off more than they could chew. They just couldn't make a good game. They just couldn't do it. And they've shown us that have failed at every turn to even get the game even running. I mean, Forza can run on like a fucking, like a old 950 graphics card. Test Drive can't even run on a 40 series. It's insane. All right, over the last 4 months since I made my last video, community complaints have been incredibly consistent. Updates fixing things but breaking others. Performance instability even on strong PCs. World assets popping in mid-race. Trees and environments loading as blobs. Long-standing bugs surviving multiple seasons. Players aren't just frustrated about bugs anymore. They're frustrated about how long bugs survive. So let's look here. 9 days ago, the servers came back online. Thanks, just check. Still the same exact blurry, flickery, free-to-play, logging off. Just like we got comments like that. 7 days ago, this was after the update. Look at the wheels. Look at the wheels here. All right, look at the wheels. So players are saying that in the cockpit, the wheels and the steering animation is a lot slower after this mid-season update. I mean, you can clearly see he's driving straight and clearly to the left and his wheel is turned. So visually, supposedly this has been a bug for a while. But I mean, this is a racing game. Like, it's like, you know, dude ran over a curb IRL and he just fucked his entire suspension, right? Control arm, fucking everything. This is how the game operates. This should not be happening a year and a half into the game's life. It just shouldn't be happening. And then, like, Solar Crown's the last 30 players wake up to another scuffed update. You know what I mean? It's a meme. It always has been. And then 9 days ago with this mid-season update, when you are driving in cockpit view and you look out the left or right, the camera pans down and you're just looking at the door panel. I mean, do you remember from, I don't remember what season it was, was it the LaFerrari or whatever? I think it was a LaFerrari. The window came down and then the window was seen on the outside of the car. But I mean, like, people are always like, how does this not get, where's the quality assurance? Where's the testing? Do you not have testers? How do you not catch this bullshit? So now they're doing a program where they're going to have these fucking, the people that just praise this game, which I don't know. I don't know if they're bots. I think these people are just mentally challenged. Because it's like a game that's this bad and scams you and just never fixes anything and just has constant problems. But they're still supporting it, acting like it's the best game ever. Like, these people seriously have mental issues. Like, look at any other game out there, any big game, and it's just not a thing. Nothing, especially for this long. But these people are still praising this game. Oh, well, just wait. It'll eventually get there. Or, well, now they don't have money. So, but anyway, they're doing a program where you can enroll and then you can QA test their game for them. So it kind of shows you they never really had QA testers, but even if people are going to throw all these issues and that they're not going to have the means to fix them, they've never fixed these issues. And it's like, I don't understand why they can't just drop a hot fix. They don't drop hot fixes. Like, okay, well, we'll see you in 2.5, 3 months, and then we'll fix it then in the next season. And then guess what? It's not fixed properly. And then they're like, all right, we'll see you in 4 or 5 months. We'll fix it in the next season. Come on now. Come on. This is still happening. I mean, this was happening when I was playing on PS5. Look at these textures. You're loading into a race. Look at this. This looks worse than a mobile game. This is still happening. This is after they overhauled their graphics engine. And this is still happening. How are people still defending this? Oh, well, that doesn't happen on my console. It must not be real. Like, these shills I can't stand these people, man. I don't know what's wrong with them. It just looks like shit. It looks like shit, man. Like, how does this still happen? And I'm pretty sure in my last video, I went over this as well. You remember my last video when we made fun of it? You were driving on Ibiza, and then the whole screen turned blue, and this blob of blue turned. That's still happening in the game. Those green and blue blobs that take over and filter the whole game, that's still happening. Still not fixed. That was 4 months ago. You'd think, okay, let's fix that. Let's drop a hot fix and fix that shit, because that's annoying. But guess what? They don't. Oh, we'll fix it next season. Sorry, deal with it. It's insane. Server issues are now fixed 2 days ago. It was just, just going to show you that when PS Plus dropped, the servers were down. Servers are down. Server errors. We're aware people can't even log into the game. This has been a problem since launch. Like, people got it on PS Plus, we're going to check it out, and they couldn't even log into the game. Remember from launch? We dealt with that. An year and a half later, same issue. It blows my mind. Like, at this point, shut it down. Like, it's almost a good thing that they're not getting funding, because it's like, just save yourself the headache. This game is never going to get fixed. It's never going to improve. It's never going to have the features. It's just not going to go anywhere. It's just not going to go anywhere, man. And like I said, just want to talk about the communication. Like, sure, since, old Raptor, our old buddy that called us a racist, has taken over. Sure, communication's been better, but he gets downvoted to hell every time. I mean, it's nothing. It's always, yeah, we're aware, coming next season. That's planned for the next update. That's being worked on. It never does. It's just more excuses time after time after time. And again, it never gets better. It's just, yeah. And then some people report a problem and he's like, oh, send me your in-game ID and what platform are you on. And when does they want all these details. It's like people were speaking out and people were defending the game, like, oh, well, they can't fix it if you don't report it. And it's like, these people are like, dude, I just bought the game. I'm not a Q&A tester. Like, why is this happening in your game? I don't want to sit here and have to give you all this information. I just want to play the game. Why is it like this? People don't want to waste the time to do that. Time is very valuable. And like, some people only have an hour a day to play a game if they sit down after work and all the other shit they got to do in life. Nobody wants to sit there and be like, oh, let me go get on the internet and let me write an hour-long bug report. Nobody wants to fucking do that. And then just to touch, the maintenance and the live service strain, we'll call it. I mean, another major frustration is the 8 to 10, even longer hour maintenance windows for literal small fixes. Like, big companies push this out while the game's still live, or an hour max. You know what I mean? Bam, done. Update, get rolling. Not test drive, right? In modern live service games, hot fixes are often deployed quickly. Solar Crown frequently goes offline for literally the full day. And it only returns with new issues, and every single time it gets pushed back, it gets delayed. Sorry, we need another hour. Sorry, we need a new 2 hours. Sorry, it's taking longer than expected. Every fucking time, man. And then we went over to the PlayStation Plus collapse, right? It launched. They were, I'm assuming, hoping to get new players in, but it did the opposite. I don't know what they were thinking. They're obviously desperate to get new players in here. The servers crashed, I believe, 2 days in a row. I'd have to go back through the Reddit post. I really don't feel like it, but I know it was down for 4 hours the first day, from what I remember reading. And all these new players hit the same problems immediately. And I mean, look at the review scores. 2.15 stars out of 5. 20,000 ratings. That's fucking horrible. All right, so when you combine all this, right? Slow updates, delayed fixes, minimal new content, long maintenance windows, it starts to look less like random mistakes and more like a project operating with limited resources, or people don't really know what they're doing, right? Because, I mean, even if you have limited resources, there's smaller companies doing bigger things faster. It doesn't really excuse launching unfinished after a 2-year delay, but it may explain why progress has felt so slow. But, I mean, at the end of the day, they pushed all the online shop, right? You can buy diamonds now. Like, look at this. You can buy all these diamonds, and they have the shop. You can buy the wide body R35 now. Who fucking cares? And there's a bug with the R35 here that the performance parts cost like millions for. I think people are saying this is worse, slower than the regular R35 or something. But of course, it's coming. We're aware of it. We'll fix it in season 6. So it costs like, I don't know, 10 to 15 million to max out the performance of this R35 that you paid real money for. That's a lot of in-game money. But again, there's problems where people buy these diamond packs and then it doesn't get credited to their account, and then they got to contact support. It's been a scam, right? And then where's the pack where you can buy in-game money? I don't know where it is. I guess it's not on here. But it's holy shit, dude. They're just milking it. Like, you can't put an online shop here and milk your remaining player base when the game doesn't even work on a fundamental level, man. All right, let's close this out. I don't think players are angry because they hate Test Drive Unlimited. I mean, there's obviously some nostalgia for TDU 1 and 2, right? They want it. They're angry because they want this franchise to succeed. And it's just been horrible, right? I mean, it's been enough time where they should have fixed it by now. And everybody says, well, No Man's Sky, Cyberpunk. This is not Cyberpunk or No Man's Sky. It never will be. And in a year and a half from those launches, those games significantly turned around. This has not happened with this game. It's not happened. It's never going to be those. Like, I don't know why people hold, oh, it's No Man's Sky, Cyberpunk, it's going to do it. No, it's not. SolarCon just feels like a game caught between ambition and reality right now. It's just not going to happen. The next few weeks, depending on what happens with Big Ben's restructuring, could determine whether this game stabilizes or slowly fades into maintenance mode and probably goes offline. And you know damn well we're never going to get an offline mode. It's just going to disappear. All the money that people spend on these diamonds and the fucking solar passes or whatever they are every season, all your money's gone. So the future of Solar Crown might depend less on patches and more on finances now. I don't, the game's just, it's just not, that's it, man. That's it. So yeah, man, that's it. I know it's pretty long, but I wanted to kind of touch on everything, and we'll see. I mean, if they can get the courts to restructure it, they'll get their funding, but I have a feeling if anything, there's going to be layoffs, and they're going to cut their live service games first, especially when this game's been underperforming. They're going to have to look at all of their products and be like, what's costing the most and what's not bringing in revenue. And this game's going to get the axe. But anyway, I don't do car content anymore. I'll probably play Forza Horizon 6 because I love Japan, but play a lot of Dark Souls and games that are fun, Neo. I know y'all don't come and watch that. Everybody that follows racing games, you only watch the racing game stuff. So I guess see you in a few months.